All right, everyone, we have good news today in the first order of the day is the Black Lives Matter mural in D.C. It's going bye-bye. How sad. It's already being destroyed, painted over. There was a Black Lives Matter mural there for about half a decade, and it never made any sense because BLM has been embattered with regards to legal issues, some of the leadership literally being commie grifters, quite literally, and many of its members, white NIMBY liberals and black people who believe that the white NIMBY liberals don't hold them in contempt. And so that's basically what BLM was formed from. Its leadership was always a small group of grifters that wanted millions of dollars, and that was the whole point. Capitalizing upon George Floyd's death mainly, and upon the deaths of pretty much anyone else that happened to be a person of color, as the Democrats would call them. Now the mural is gone. It's being ripped up as we speak. This is a good thing. We should not be celebrating criminals who point a loaded gun at their pregnant girlfriend's belly in the United States. That's not exactly a commendable thing. It's not exactly like Malcolm X or something like that. Notice there are a lot more murals to MLK than there are to Malcolm X, even though Malcolm X was the one that was actually above board. I've noticed this. I'm a noticer now. Link in the description, archived of course. The mural is being ripped up as we speak, and we'll go bye-bye. It's being renamed Liberty Plaza, so it's no longer going to be Black Lives Matter Plaza. I think that this is a good thing. I think that if we're going to have unity in this country, we need to understand individuality. That is, it does not matter if you're white. It does not matter if you're black. It does not matter what your ethnic heritage happens to come from. No hyphenated Americanism. No individualistic displays of praise for a person simply because of the color of their skin in whatever circumstance they were in. It makes no sense. George Floyd happened to be, well, arguably killed. Really, he just died of a massive overdose, but we'll get past that for now. Derek Chauvin should be out of jail by now as well. We'll get past that and just look at the situation. A person who happened to be black was either killed or died as a result of an altercation with the police. They have turned it into a worship cult in which we have holographic displays of this individual touring the nation, in which millions and millions of dollars were made by people simply fronting for him that didn't even know him. They didn't know anything about him before they decided to begin grifting. And all of a sudden we had a mural put up in D.C. Now I imagine if you decided to leave skid marks across the mural, you'd probably be charged with a hate crime. This is completely unacceptable. This is not the American way. The American way is judge a person based on their individual actions. So if George Floyd fucked up, and he did, by the way, in my opinion at least, then you don't celebrate them. If they did something that was particularly novel for society, then you celebrate them. It doesn't matter what their race is. I don't give a shit if a person is white or black or Asian or anything like that, if they're Hispanic, non-Hispanic. If they've done something that contributed to society, celebrate that. That's wonderful. It's an accomplishment. It helps society. There's nothing wrong with that. If they really didn't do anything, and George Floyd didn't, why the hell are there busts of George Floyd floating around in multiple cities? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Why are the taxpayers funding the maintenance of a George Floyd monument for Black Lives Matter and shit like that in the middle of our capital? It makes absolutely no sense. This is a communist movement. Multiple individuals that were involved in actually founding the movement itself are self-professed communists. Why are we celebrating this movement, therefore? It doesn't really make any sense. Now, Again, the people that are members of BLM are different from the founders. The founders are a bunch of rich bitches who wanted to get richer. And some of them, bought second and third homes as a result of the income from the BLM movement. The people that actually joined the movement basically boil down to two groups of people. White NIMBYist liberals who feel guilt because they are white and who can't deal with that fact, and so they feel like they have to pony up $10 for the BLM movement. And black individuals, or individuals of color, as the Democrats would term them, who believe that the white NIMBYist liberals are their friends, not realizing they're not your friends. Sorry to tell you this, but those white liberals from the suburbs that tell you how much they love you and pet your head because you happen to have a different skin color than themselves are not really your friends. If you get them loaded, let's say that you go to any college in the United States. I went to UVM myself. Get a couple beers in them, they'll start telling racist jokes. And it won't be just for jovial purposes, they'll actually mean it. I've had this experience before. If you want to find your white allies, you're going to have to go to Hillbillyville. Nobody cares. Unless you're raising hell or something like that, nobody gives a damn if you've got black skin. Nobody here in Vermont, for example, gives a fuck. We don't care. But that's in the Hillbillyville part of the state. If you go to the Champlain Valley, you'll find that people are more discriminatory. They just won't tell you to your face that they look down on you. I don't look down on you. I don't give a fuck. It's the way that it works in Appalachia, generally speaking. It's also the way that it works in the South. Who cares? Oh, you're black? Wow, what a revelation. I can see it by the way that I literally see your skin. Nobody cares. Nobody's judging you. Nobody gives a fuck. That's the way that it works. And Democrats, though, have made it a point to spread out the id poll as much as they can and to try to convince people, if they are not white, the lily white liberals, that's where they get their money from. They've tried to convince people based on their surname or the color of their skin that other people are trying to victimize them. And that's just not what's happening. It's never been happening for over 100 years. Nobody cares. It's like the uh-oh, there goes the neighborhood sort of trope from the 1950s and 60s. It's never really been a thing except under white NIMBY liberalism. Those are the ones that are being lampooned there. They're the ones that are obsessed with the color of a person's skin. They think he's got black skin, ergo, he's incapable of doing it himself. I have to help him. He's my Friday, basically. It's like Robinson Crusoe or something like that, or like a Mark Twain novel. It's actually hideous when you think about it. These people are capable of doing it themselves. The black community is capable of uplifting itself if you get out of their goddamn way. That's just the long and short of it. So I'm glad that the mural is gone, because it's just divisive. It makes absolutely no sense. That's about all. Peace out.